You, who have given thine flesh to the currents that flow between the realms of man and spirit. Resist not my purification of the soul. Step forth into life anew.
You must return as you were. Please let us aid you.
Hold fast to your consciousness. Remain yourself, and you shall not disappear.
Hurry! We gotta do this on the double! Almost there! Don't you quit on us!
It is time. Please, this way.
Hey guys, it's NB Mick. Welcome back to more Tales of Xillia. In the last one, we died. And in this one, we are taking control of Milla again. And well, let's talk to the spirits first to figure out what's quite going on.
Want to hear why the terrain here's all messed up? It all began when Undine...
If you say one more word about that, you'll be telling this story from the bottom of the sea.
Well, let's start with Sylph.
Can't believe the other three dragged me into this ridiculous scheme. Huh? You okay?
That's a good question. Am I okay? What happens if I talk to you again?
Wait a sec, don't tell me you don't remember.
Maybe, maybe not. Hello, Afrit.
You appear different. What? Your own name escapes you? Did we fail? My apologies. You could not answer even if you wished.
Undine?
Something is amiss. I cannot believe I am even asking you this. But do you remember the time we spent together in Niakara? You do not remember. What can we do now? No, forgive me. It is not your fault.
And Gnome.
Gnome, ready to roll. So happy to play again. Ready to do our thing? What? You don't remember little old me? This mean we blew it?
And we've talked to all the spirits, so now, as the objective says, we can go wherever we want. But of course, before that, we just got out of boss fight stuff, so let's just go and get my auto levels done. And let's see what skills we can equip. Link stuff is not going to be particularly useful here, so we'll just ignore that for now. Less damage for TP cost, huh? That actually... might not be a bad thing, especially if we have conservative shift to make it so we cost less TP over time. Yeah, I think this is good. I'm just gonna double check all of my... Yeah, I think Holy Symbol right now to restore HP might be good, because as we're by ourselves, we don't have a healer. Though, if I was actually paying closer attention to my equipment for this side, I should have gotten accessories that block status ailments, because that probably will end up being an issue. Also, one sec, I'm going to reorganize my arts real quick. Okay, well, for starters, we're probably going to want to head east.
Wait. Where are you going?
Something ain't right with her, gang. It's like she forgot who she is.
Come on! Don't you remember all the times we played together in Nia Kara?
Answer me. When you and I battled each other, who emerged the victor?
Do you remember saving us when we were trapped inside the lance? I fear that you have lost much of your memory.
Yet it should be intact if we retrieved her soul at the proper moment.
Maybe we screwed it up somehow. Or maybe we hit some glitch we didn't know about. If we do a little digging, we might figure out the problem.
Bad Sylph, no!
What?
We can't disobey our lord.
Gnome has the right of it. In either way, we cannot return to Nia Kara.
Fine. Who needs a half-baked spirit like her anyway? Let's lose the amnesiac and move on.
Sylph, please. We should be happy she is still with us at all. We just need to accept that our plan has failed.
We brought this fate upon you. Forgive us. If only we could make it up to you.
Is there anywhere you would like to go? The least we can do is accompany you. Perhaps you might remember something along the way.
Right. Someplace familiar might do the trick.
Nia Kara's out, remember?
Oh.
You can now tether with the 4 great spirits. Use the arts menu to set the 4 and summon them in battle. That's actually not a terrible idea. Well, we'll see how this goes. So, this whole, I guess we could call it plane of existence, is the second admissible area in the game. This version of the world has unique drops you can find and unique, well, sort of unique enemies. Just like a bunch of enemies in the game, it's more just recolors or stronger versions of them, but they are unique in the monster book. So once you complete this section of the game, you can't come back here again. And while this is mostly just a section of the game where you're kind of re-exploring the world you've already explored, I actually do kind of like this section of the game a lot. It's very surreal. And this music is pretty calming, and it kind of clears my mind a little, which I guess is probably the idea, because Milla's mind is clear and empty of memories here, but, you know. Regardless. Oh, one more thing. There are 3 sub-events that you can only get in this section of the game as well. So we're going to be taking care of those as well. So we're going to want to start by heading east. So that all said, this is going to be a hard part of the game to talk about, so I'm going to treat it like I have... Hey, there's a merchant here. Well, I guess let's suit up as best as we can. But, as I was saying, as this is mostly just retreading old ground, this is going to be hard for me to talk over. So instead, I'm going to do what I have 2 or 3 times before, and I'm going to use a resource from the Tales of Lations blog on Tumblr. And in this case, the blog has translated and sort of summarized a short story that has to do with when Milla was around 6. It talks about an event that was actually hinted at in a sub-event before. The sub-event where we get Milla's glass bead and give it to Jude and all that. So I'm going to be reading the summary that is on the blog, and that'll take probably 15 minutes or so, and of course that'll get cut out a little bit if I come across cutscenes and sub-events and stuff, but it should take about roughly 15 minutes. Just a little bit of warning ahead of time. It's a little bit more mature than Xillia itself is. There's a couple mentions of more... There's like a mention or two of a little bit more graphic material. There's nothing explicit, mind you, but the mentions is there. So just a fair warning there. Well, we've upgraded Milla's weapon. What about armor can we get? You get the Holy Circlet, and that's about it. Okay, well... Rest in peace, Vorpal Sword, I suppose. Anyway. Oh, actually, yeah, now that I've said it, let's look at... Because I don't think I've bought an accessory this entire damn game, so let's see if there's an amulet or something I can buy. Amulet would be under this, I think. No? No amulet? No resistance to light either, huh? Because that would be... Well, I guess we have the light, but like, confusion, I mean, because we're gonna be encountering light magic in one of the harder bosses of this area. So... having something to block confusion might be helpful. Anyway. Time for me to read. I believe the story is called The Day Milla Was Born, even though it takes 6 years after that. It also gives some extra characterization to Elvin, which I think is very nice. Back then, Milla was like a normal little girl, and she didn't really understand what it was to be Maxwell yet. She actually didn't like the Four Spirits nagging her about it too much. One day, when she was a bit younger, she left the shrine while the spirits were away and went to the village. She watched children play and wanted to try playing too, but she wasn't sure how to ask or if she should, so she didn't reveal herself. When the spirits came back, she lied about what she'd been doing. That was the first time in her life that she lied. She'd read about lies in a book and knew that it was something all humans did, but until then she'd never really understood what it was. The new experience made her very excited, and that's when she started getting a real interest in humans. When a Spyrix is used and lesser spirits die, their cries can be heard by Milla and the Great Spirits. This is how they were able to pinpoint the location of Exodus's base. That day was the first time the spirits told her about Exodus and decided to take her with them. Until then, they'd fought Exodus on their own. The Zenithra disappeared the day experiments to find Rizamaxia were made in Olympias. The case was closed by Olympian officials on the 2nd day of the 10th month, 4284. There were originally 1,000 people on the Zenithra. 6 years after they came to Riza Maxia, there were only a bit more than 300 left. Each time they used powerful Spyrexes, they got attacked. It took them a while to correlate the two, but since then, they've stopped using powerful Spyrexes and managed to hide from the four spirits. At the time of this story, they live on a small island north of Laurent but in Azure. At first, they tried to mix with Riza Maxians, but since they couldn't use spirit arts and life in Riza Maxia depends on them, they could never mix well within the population. So, most returned to the Zenithra, and then they found that island. There was a village there, but it was abandoned. Among the Olympians that were on the Zenithra and who survived to this day, there are around 20 scientists, engineers, researchers. Some of them were very famous in Olympias. They transformed an abandoned school into their research lab. There, they researched ways to go back to Olympias. And to start the first sub-event, we want to enter the storage shed.
What's the matter? This place ring a bell?
Perhaps she visited here while we were trapped inside the lance.
Whatever.
They're in trouble!
I will handle this.
Thank you.
And we want to follow Afrit over there to, well, see how he's holding up against the Harpies. And a merman, it seems.
Stay back. I said I would handle this.
She does not seem particularly concerned about who does the fighting.
What?
What matters most is that we save these people.
That's right!
Indeed it is. So, the Merfish is weak to fire, but the Harpies aren't weak to anything, so let's just run up there. Let Efreet handle this like he said he would. And now, we'll just do what we can, and what we can appears to be getting hit by a Arrivederci. And getting inflicted...
Please stand down.
And getting inflicted with paralysis, because very good.
You saved us! I can't thank you enough!
Please, stop by our house in the village whenever you need a rest.
Whoa, guys, something's not right.
Is everyone all right?
They're gone.
You cannot touch it from this world.
I know it's rotten, but you couldn't have saved him if you tried.
Don't blame yourself.
Let's move onward.
And now that that's over, remember the mayor's house? We want to head there next. It seems we can interact with the people of this city here. I've heard rumors of a path that one can take to travel between this world and the other world while keeping one's body intact. If such a place does exist, perhaps we can finally live in peace without fear of Spyrex. You're looking for a place around here with an aquatic spirit climb. I guess that would either be the Kajara Sea Falls or the Eladi Sea Haven. Maybe so. Yes, let's continue to head east a little bit, and this was the mayor's house, correct? Yes, it was.
Put what happened in the orchard out of your mind.
Perhaps you should just live in peace from now on.
You don't have to fight anymore.
Yes. You should focus on your own happiness.
What's happened to me? Peace. Were those two at peace? Why do I still care? I don't need to fight anymore. I couldn't protect them.
And that event... you can see how much I haven't been paying attention to some events on this side of the game because of how much it's just mission failed. Regardless, that was called In Dreams, and we have 2 more parts of that. And to continue the next part, we need to head we need to head further eastward to Eladi Sea Haven. Let's continue the story.
I like this town. They have a festival for me every year. That's why I always make their fruit so sweet.
Gilland contacted Olympius by chance, but in doing so used a powerful Spyrix, alerting the spirits and Milla of their location. Gilland started thinking of using Rizemaxians, and Derek heard some of his mutterings. Derek was unsettled by what he heard, as he had married a Rizemaxian in secret and didn't want anything to happen to his wife and son. When the spirits arrived on the island, Undine, Sylph, and Ifrit left to investigate, and Milla was left behind with Gnome.
What a pain. We could fly there in a heartbeat if we just tethered up.
If you're in that much of a hurry, Sylph, feel free to go ahead without us.
However, she managed to ditch him and went to explore the forest. She got lost and stumbled upon 2 children from the village, who played with her for a bit. They gave her a glass bead as a souvenir, and thinking she was from the village, brought her there before parting ways. Back then, Derek was living with Ellen, but was still working for Exodus, so he went to the island for a few hours each day. At first, Ellen thought he was having an affair, but he denied it. She tried to believe him, but eventually decided to follow him one day, the day Milla came to the island.
What are you staring at? Get lost!
It can't be! The 4 great spirits?
What mischief are you 2 up to?
We were,
Hey, hold it!
Pardon us, we have, business to attend to. Right, business. Let's go.
Let's follow them inside the inn. And... where did she go? Over here? Let's talk to her.
Have you seen those men before?
A few times. I think they're tailing after me.
Do you know why?
Yes, I overheard something I probably shouldn't have.
Please, continue.
Okay, you are the 4 great spirits after all. I overheard that some woman committed the sin of false reincarnation. Now people are on the hunt for her.
Sin, huh?
Do you have any clue of this person's whereabouts?
I don't know. I didn't hear much else. But they clearly said they have to find her and kill her. Eventually, I found out that they had started to suspect us, so I've been in hiding.
I see.
Thank you for sharing your tale. You have been most helpful. Now see to your safety.
And now we need to rest at the inn. Sure, 100 gold, that's fine.
Yes?
Can I come too? With you?
Who are you? I know you. Why can't I remember?
My name's... And you?
I'm Maxwell. Yes, that's right. I'm Milla Maxwell. And I chose to die. But why? I can't remember. That boy. Who was he to me?
In Dreams Part 2. And now we're going to want to head all the way back and head to Nia Kara. Oh, first another cutscene.
Don't you think we ought to come clean with her? It might not matter with her memory gone, but still.
Sylph's making sense.
Very well. We shall confess what we did to you. Once you were a woman named Milla. You lived with us in a place called Nia Kara.
You died in the end. Do you remember that much? We must tell you what happened afterward. We tried to retrieve your soul, before it could be purified and reincarnated.
We thought you'd come back with all your same old memories.
But we messed up. Your memories went bye-bye. Oops.
That is the way of things.
Oops. But yes, onward to Nia Kara we now go. Story time continues. She brought Jude along with her. She saw Derek enter a big building and tried to follow him, but she was stopped by a guy who told her that children couldn't go in. He proposed to have his mother, who lived in a nearby house, look after him in the meanwhile. She reluctantly handed Jude over and went after Derek. Meanwhile, Milla, who was wandering around the village, arrived near the house Jude was in and heard his cries. The woman who was supposed to look after him was away buying groceries, and Milla entered the house to find the source of the noise. She wasn't used to babies and was intrigued, if a bit intimidated. She started poking at his cheeks, which made him laugh, and they spent a few minutes playing like this. But then Jude started crying again, and Milla panicked, not knowing what to do. Jude accidentally grabbed her crowning glory and started pulling, which hurt her. She started crying as well, and eventually left the house, still holding Jude, the both of them crying. Ellen caught up with Derek and tried to interrogate him, but at first, he just told her it wasn't her business. When the Zenithra arrived in Milla Maxwell, Derek started to work as a wandering doctor going to remote villages, where getting treatment could be difficult. That's how he ended up meeting Ellen. He also learned that Rizamaxians didn't know anything about Olympias, and so he kept his origin hidden from her. The reason he still worked with Exodus was because he couldn't abandon his fellow Olympians, so he led a double life, Doctor and Rizamaxia, searcher for Exodus. However, now that he had a child, he was looking for a way to quietly ditch Exodus.
You're getting a bit too heated up, Undine. You need to cool down.
You're one to talk.
Now that she'd found him, he resolved to leave now. But first he had to go to the research lab and destroy his papers so as to not to leave a trace. However, before he could leave for the lab, the guy who'd taken Jude from Ellen came in to tell her that Jude had disappeared. Milla wandered with Jude in the village, not quite sure what to do with him. She tried to leave him behind a few times, but something in her always stopped her, so she ended up keeping him. In the lab, Elvin went to Gillen's room and knocked, but no answer came. He hesitated whether to enter or not. He knew that Gillen was in the room, but he had a vague idea of what he'd find there and he didn't really want to see it. However, he had to give his report, and he knew he'd be punished if he didn't. So he switched his emotions off and entered the room. The room was dark and smelled of tobacco and sex. Gillen was sitting at his desk smoking with only his pants on. Elvin gave him what he'd come to bring, a copy of the love letters the Exodus leader Gilbert was sending to his Rizemaxian girlfriend. Gilbert was a soldier in his 30s who'd taken the role of leader to the stranded Olympians, but he and Gilland didn't get along, and Gilland was looking for a way to get rid of him. Since Gilbert had a secret Rizemaxian girlfriend, Gilland was hoping to stir up a scandal around him, and for that he sent Elvin spying on him. He'd promised Elvin to give back his father's golden pistol, the symbol of the Svent family head, if Elvin accomplished his mission. But of course, it was a lie, which Gilland rubbed in his face. Elvin then threatened to tell Gilbert what was happening, but Gilland told him it'd be no use. The only thing he'd accomplished doing that was reveal to Gilbert that he himself was a traitor. Elvin accepted defeat and tried to leave, but Gilland held him back and told him to say hello to his mother. Leticia was hiding on the bed under the sheets, but she revealed herself at Gilland's words. She told Elvin that she wasn't feeling well, so Gilland was taking care of her, to which Gilland added that he was taking good care of her all right. But Elvin wasn't fooled, and left as quickly as he could. Leticia had been weak and sickly ever since she gave birth to Elvin, and Elvin's father had brought them all on that cruise for her to try and lift her spirits. But the tsunami happened, and Elvin's father was swept away by the waves. Stranded in Rizemaxia with nothing to do, she latched onto Gilland for support, and he took advantage of her weakness. Elvin had walked in on them before, and thus learned the truth about their relationship, but Leticia still thought Elvin didn't know, and she lied to him about it. Ever since that day, Elvin began to close his heart more and more. Back to Milla, she and Jude fell asleep on a carriage for a while, and when they woke up, they found themselves in a different place. It was already night, and Milla felt scared without the spirits around her. There was also Jude, who'd started crying again. Milla tried to remember what the books she'd read were saying about babies, and she deduced that he was hungry. She tried to breastfeed him like she'd read in the book, but it didn't really work.
That was unpleasant.
She then decided to enter the nearest building, the research lab, to see if she could find food there. Meanwhile, Gilland went back to the transmitter and tried to contact Olympius once more. Since it wasn't working well, he raised the power of the Spyrix, but at that moment the building started shaking violently. He left the room, and her and other searchers found the source of the shaking. A part of the building was engulfed in fire and water, and the walls were crumbling, and a giant hurricane was raging. When Gilland had raised the power, Milla's ears started to hurt from the shrieks of dying lesser spirits, and then the building came under attack, and the shock sent her flying in all directions, but she always held on to the baby. His cries were, for some reason, soothing the pain of the spirit's shrieks in her ears and turning her fear into courage. She was engulfed by the fire and her skin started to burn, but all she could think about was how she had to protect this tiny human. She focused her mind and the words came to her naturally. "Come, Great Four!" The four spirits appeared before her, effectively summoning for the first time. The four spirits appeared before her, effectively summoned for the first time, and they immediately noticed that something had changed about her. Gone was her childlike behavior, and now she was fully awakened as Maxwell. She ordered the spirits to destroy all the Spyrixes they could find in the lab. She and the spirits were seen by Gilland as he escaped, and as he was the only one who saw them who survived, he thought that he would be able to use this information to his advantage.
The wind changed.
Is it her?
Gnome, hide Milla.
Okie dokie. Sit tight.
So, it was you.
Tell us, what fate befell the people you brought here?
They were all suspects, so naturally they paid the ultimate price.
In other words, your goal was to root out Milla.
Of course. How very perceptive of you. I must eliminate all who have learned of the schism's existence and secrets.
Well, duh. That's your mission after all.
But I never expected you would hide Milla and then march right up to me on your own. Did something go awry?
Milla has lost her memory.
We don't know how to find her no more.
So that's what happened. In that case, your usefulness has come to an end.
Yes, as you say.
You are well aware of our master's wishes. You all know too much. You must be reincarnated.
Die and pass along our powers to the next grade 4. We know.
Exactly. Lord Maxwell's specter is in the shrine. We shall await you.
Are we prepared for this?
Yes.
Time to say bye-bye.
You heard our conversation. Muse is right. We know too much about the schism, and that makes us dangerous.
We were prepared for this outcome.
Yep.
All that really matters is the 4 great spirits exist, not who they are. Got it? Then scram and never come back.
We'll be going now.
Milla. No, you are not Milla. You are your own person. Forget you ever heard that name.
If you ever meet the next 4, please, give them our kind regards.
Enough already. Let's go get this over with.
Milla can no longer tether with the Great Four. And here we are in Niakara. First things first, we want to head straight to the inn if we want to do the sub-event. If we wander around too much, we could trigger the next story event, and this will be missed, so... Let's head... Which one is the inn? This one right here, so let's go and rest at the inn. Or just head to the inn. Let's go and rest at the inn for the next story event. Or for the next sub-event.
Well, well. You've certainly changed, haven't you?
I just want to live as Maxwell.
And that's an excuse to off yourself?
I know it conflicts with my mission.
Then don't! Don't do it!
I just don't want to disappoint. I want to be strong. I want to be the Maxwell that he adores.
What does Maxwell have to fear?
So that's what it was. I've become afraid. Afraid of loss.
And all of those... I can't get over all the mission failed. But now all 3 of these sub-events are now finished. So, we can head up. Well, we can go wherever we want, but we also need to go and seek out the next sub-event, and also Muse has killed them all. Well, wherever I want is to the shrine, so let's head down the Spirit Way.
What? You followed us? Why?
Numbskull? Don't tell me you're trying to stop us from sacrificing ourselves.
Wait, Sylph. Her body is different, and her memory's gone. But a certain part of Milla may yet remain.
Yes. If that's the case, there is nothing we can do to stop her.
You know, even if you never get your memories back, you're still the best.
This creature isn't Milla. The real Milla would think more logically. She'd never be dumb enough to follow us like this.
Sylph.
If you are determined to accompany us, then we cannot stop you. Come with us, or turn back. We will respect your decision regardless.
Yep.
Indeed.
Whatever.
And we can tether again. Why even take away the ability, folks? But yes, now let's head all the way to Milla's shrine, and let's finish off the remaining little bit of the story. I hope I've given myself enough time to read this over. If not, I'll figure something else out. Alvin and his mother also escaped unharmed, though the shock was big on her. Derek and Ellen had arrived to the lab as it was being destroyed. They went there because they heard that their baby was seen near it. For a moment, they feared for his life, but they eventually found him in an abandoned carriage nearby, safe but hungry. He had on his cheek the small trace of a kiss. And thus we've arrived at Milla's shrine. I hope you enjoyed the story, and I hope I gave myself enough time to read it. But the moment we step into Milla's shrine, we will have a boss battle. So I'm gonna go and increase my EXP gain so much more, and let's go.
Oh? What do we have here? So you lied to me? Or perhaps you changed your minds? Never mind. I am not so cruel as to interrogate you over this matter now. But I do have one question for you. Can you really trust these spirits? If you don't know the answer, then allow me to provide it for you. Just as I have a mission, so too did you. At least when you were still Milla.
Muse, must you really tell her this?
My, you willingly participated, and yet now you wish to pretend it never happened?
No one said that.
My primary mission was the eradication of Exodus. And as for Milla, she was Lord Maxwell's bait to lure Exodus into the open. He realized that Exodus had designs to take his life. So he made you believe you were Maxwell in the flesh. And right on cue, Exodus threw all of its resources into killing you. Do you see where I'm going with this?
That's enough already.
Your mission, the one you felt so obligated to fulfill as Maxwell, it was a lie. A fabrication, to be more accurate. You were never Maxwell. And furthermore, the 4 great spirits here were under Lord Maxwell's orders. They raised you, a human girl forged in the crucible of the elements, as Maxwell. They brainwashed you into accepting your mission, Milla. You were abandoned by Maxwell from the very start, and your trusted 4 have been using you from the beginning.
She speaks the truth. All of us have been lying to you.
That is why we plucked your soul free, just as it was undergoing purification.
We betrayed our very master, Lord Maxwell himself, for you. Though I suppose that gesture rings hollow now.
Indeed it does.
But Muse, Milla wished for us to live on.
She kinda grew on us, you know? Betraying her again just leaves a bad taste in my mouth.
We refuse your offer of reincarnation. We are staying right here.
What? I have a mission. Without it, my life has no meaning. I must complete it. I cannot allow you to live.
And thus we duel against Muse, who is weak against light, but strong against dark. I thought it was the other way around, because, like, as I was saying earlier, I wanted to get something that prevented against, like, confusion and stuff, because I was worried about her spamming light on me and inflicting confusion, but I guess I was mistaken. Okay. Let's check my... Is this the best thing I have, or should I equip something else? I'm not sure. I guess we'll go with this. Ooh, resistance to darkness by 50%. That might not be a bad idea. But, Muse is a particularly difficult fight, because Milla, in my opinion, Milla's kit isn't exactly suited for duels in this game, because the way Xillia's combat system works, it's difficult to combo enemies too much. It was fine there, but... Oh my god. But generally speaking, if you get too many hits on an enemy, they will break out of that combo, regardless. So it's a little bit harder to keep that going. Plus, Milla is not nearly as nimble as Jude is. So, like that, it's very easy for Muse to get in a bunch of hits while you're still trying to attack. Which makes it... And makes it pretty hard to get damage in, because a lot of your attacks leave you open. Except for, I guess, Blade Torrent in the air like this, which might actually just be the strategy. But if I want to just use raw Blade Torrent while on the ground, then I'm going to want to make sure I get Muse's shield broken first. And I absolutely want to keep my health up just in case she does something that, like, combos me and does a lot of damage. Well, if I'm gonna want to do... Oh! That's bad. This is extremely loud. I'm just going to Elixir here. Yeah, if I did an Elixir there, that would have been probably very bad. Yeah. Blade Torrent certainly is the way to go. Nope. Bye. Bye. Oh no. Oh god.
All shall be purged. Eternity calls upon you. Your fatal prison awaits. Event Horizon.
Oh good.
Any apologies?
We're fine, probably because of all my resistance to darkness right now. That's... Oh, I was so worried about that. But it ended up being fine. Yeah, see, right after that, my AC counter wasn't even close to being done, but, well, it was pretty close to being done, but it wasn't over yet, and she still managed to break out of it. Oh god. And yeah, that's why this boss is so difficult, because she can just ruin you like that. I remember having an incredibly difficult time with this. You know, I don't mind if you Mystic Art on me. That's fine. I guess we're using another Elixir because we're in another pretty bad spot. At least we can throw out a Blade Torrent right out of her, like, throwing move. That's pretty okay. Hey! Don't stun me like that. How dare you? Nope! Don't you dare! How much health? Oh, one more of these. Yeah!
That was very close. Am I stronger?
Why? Why do you disobey your master?
'Cause I want Milla back with us. She cared about me, so I care about her. Simple.
We do not know if Milla will regain her memory. Most likely she never will. But even so, to us, she is still Milla.
It is not the past we spent together that truly matters. We have realized that much.
In other words, the most important thing to you is not the past, but rather...
Stop right there. Sheesh, you were about to say the oldest cliche in the book.
We don't want to die just 'cause we know too much.
Then why didn't you run?
Funny thing, we were fine with dying if it was for her.
We shall decide what we do from now on.
We shall follow our own hearts when choosing whether to obey or disobey our master's orders.
You think so too, right?
But memories are gone forever when they're erased. She will never be Milla again. Tell me I speak the truth.
Behold, the specter of Lord Maxwell, hegemon of the spirit world.
Do not be afraid. The specter is nothing more than concentrated consciousness. Its sole purpose is to purify the souls of the dead.
The answer to your question is negative. This ball of light contains a soul's former information. It is a miraculous art, able to restore memory and personality.
What? Lord Maxwell! Why was I never informed of this?
This isn't good. Lord Maxwell's gonna sense that we're here. Huh? He's not answering.
Why? Why have you stopped responding? How long must I wait until you answer me?
I do not know why, but it appears her communication with Maxwell has been cut off.
No! Why is this happening?
Hey, wait!
Calm yourself, Sylph.
We have more pressing concerns.
In the end, we did what we came to do. We have found a way to restore Milla's memory.
Carry this light to the summit of the Neokera Hollowmont.
Let's go to the summit of the Neokera Hollowmont. If we use the light we acquired, your memories should return.
Well, that we shall, and I guess this is the way that they devised on Milla's side to make you go through the Hollowmont. Hey guys, what's going on? Yeah, now I kind of want to talk about the short story I just read a little bit, because this is actually my first time reading it as well. Thank you for cutting me off with a battle game. But yeah, I found the story kind of interesting as well. I like how it expands on something that is hinted at in-game with like Milla's glass bead and such. So you don't really get to meet the two that she was talking about. Maybe you do in the original short story, because what I read was just a summary. But I like how it expands on that, and I like how it gives a more context to Elvin's character and sort of just... I'm trying to not fight! Oh my god! But yeah, how it expands a bit more on Elvin's character and kind of gives context to, like, a little bit of his thought process and just, like, why he's so bad at trusting a bunch of people and everything. Well, a bit about that. Words.
I cannot lose.
Though one thing that did stick out as weird to me is that Milla and Jude met while in it while Jude was a baby, just 1 year old, and Milla was 6. That kind of... It's not bad, it's just weird to me, right? But... yeah. Though... So... Those parts of it are a little weird, and it gives... but... I'm just stumbling all over myself all the time, and it's weird that, like, that backstory in particular is never brought up in the game proper. Or at least to my memory. Neither that nor Jude's parents, other than Jude. Jude's dad being confirmed to have ties to Exodus. That's not really brought up or addressed in the main game proper, which is really weird to me. But, though, that could be chalked up to just something that the writers wanted to implement but didn't have time or something like that. I'm not sure. Let's see, what else? Oh, and the little detail about... That little detail about Jude's mom thinking that his dad might have been having an affair. That feels incredibly out of character to her for me.
This is it. We use the light here at the summit.
She feels incredibly trustworthy to me, so that struck me as odd, but like whatever, I guess. Anyway, we're here. Let's use the soul's light.
My powers are being summoned.
The signal is off the charts. It's Lord Maxwell.
But who could he be fighting?
Milla should be fine now. We can leave.
All right, here we go.
Your heart won't stop pounding, will it? Now do you see?
Ridiculous! Look at yourself, fool. You can barely even stand up. Do you really think you have the strength to resist me?
Remember why I chose to die.
Yes, I do. I know that I do.
What did you say? This is impossible. You must die!
Who? Just who are you?
Isn't that right? Milla?
Jude!
I must be dreaming.
Milla!
Is this truly happening?
Milla? No way!
Milla?
Is it not Maxwell's mission to protect the future for all of us, both human and spirit?
But how can this be? Was this the Four's doing?
Uncertain? Uncertainty makes you weak, you know. Are you all sure about this?
How dare you?
Okay, Jude. Let's go!
Right! Here we go!
Gather forth the origins of time and space. Meteor storm!
Hey.
Hi there.
Hey! Milla!
Elise. Leia.
She's back! For real, really real!
I feel blessed to have lived long enough for this reunion, to think that we would meet again.
This feels like a dream. But it's real, isn't it?
I'm glad to see you too.
Welcome back, Milla.
Thank you.
Hey! Stay away from us! Or am I gonna have to finish you off myself?
I do not understand. The Four. Tell me, what is the meaning of this?
I could no longer stand idly by and allow you to continue with this folly.
Right, exactly. So we decided to help Milla out and bring her to the spirit realm.
How dare you? I gave no such order.
Lord Maxwell, all people have hearts and minds, just the same as we do.
You can't just treat them like tools, even if it does help save the world in the end.
Maxwell, you may have been the one to give me my mission. Nevertheless, it was still my own mission.
You exerted your own will. And that was a decision that came straight from your own heart.
Yes.
The world you created seems to serve no purpose other than to exist. But what kind of life is that for its people? We all just want to live.
I suppose this is why I could not understand your actions. Human hearts truly are complicated things. Perhaps my ignoring that fact is what ultimately led me astray. I shall dispel the schism.
Are you serious?
Maintaining the schism requires a tremendous amount of mana. Dispelling it will disperse this energy into the world. That should protect the world's spirits. At least for a time, anyway. It will grant us a reprieve of a few years. Possibly even a few decades, at best.
Thank you, Maxwell. We'll figure out a solution. Both Riza Maxia and Olympius will live on together. We'll find a way. You have my word.
So, Maxwell, you would step down from your rightful place as this world's god?
Gaius?
Answer me, Maxwell.
I have grown weary of constantly being at the mercy of human hearts.
Maxwell.
If you wish to abdicate your throne as Riza Maxia's god, then I shall sit upon it in your stead.
A mere human to replace me as my equal? How absurd. You are not worthy at all.
It is not a question of being worthy. It is a question of actually being willing and able. If you cannot fulfill your obligations, then I certainly will.
Not so fast. I'm afraid that's not gonna work for me, either.
It matters not. I don't need your approval.
Such power. It can't be.
The Lance of Kresnik?
What choice did I have? After all, you refused to tell me what I should do, now didn't you?
Muse, have you lost your mind?
I cannot allow you to destroy the schism!
Maxwell, you shall serve as the cornerstone of your own world!
What?
It is my mission to protect the schism! My mission! Mine, mine, mine!
Release me right now! That is an order!
I'm afraid it's too late. You're always too late!
Muse, come to me. Are you prepared?
Whatever my lord wishes.
No! Stop now! You can't mean to unleash it!
Behold, Muse's true power. A sword that can slice through space and time.
I don't expect we'll meet again. Farewell, my sister.
You can't be serious!
Why are you doing this? Gaius!
For the sake of those who were killed, I will go to Olympias. And you shall return to Riza Maxia, where you cannot interfere!
Come on, you gotta be kidding me!
No! I can't hang on! Hang in there, Elise! Help!
I've got you!
What can we do?
Maxwell, no!
Wait! What's going on?
Not another one!
Leave at once! This man is not worthy of the name Maxwell!
We shall see!
Everyone brace yourselves!
The case was closed by Olympian officials on the second day of the 10th month, on 4-2000. Fuck! Leticia had been Wick